Hello.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I'm Shelley Wade with 94.7 The Block. It's an Audacy station here in New York City. And this role was kind of a departure for you. I know I've seen you play serious before, but this was serious slash funny slash action hero. Tell us how you prepared for that, and did you feel pressure? Were you confident going in?
I mean, I think it's all a part of a plan that I've been putting together for some time. Like you just talked about the other roles. So when you talk about the Upside, Fatherhood, True Story, those are strategic things that I wanted to do. And from the producing lens, positioning the company to have something big to come out after True Story was the biggest priority. So the idea of Lift came up, and the character and my approach to the character was one of just change. Like, let's see if we can just start to transition to a different conversation of leading man. And to do that, you need great material, great director, great producing partners, and more importantly, a great cast. So we're able to check all those boxes.
Yes.
Yes.
You did an amazing job. I remember when you first walked out, I was like, look at Kevin Hart looking GQ
Looking
on
tall.
us.
A rank. Give me a rank.
Looking tall. Did you have any say-so in, your what you wore, your attire in the movie?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't stand on it, but at this point in my career, the creative process is one that you're in from the start to the finish. So you can't pull that off without knowing what it actually takes to have the visual on screen that aligns with the story that we're trying to tell. So the wardrobe was extremely important. How much I moved around when delivering lines. I'm normally a very active person. I clap, I talk, my hands, very, very much like life. I'm talking about, I'm very active. But for Cyrus, one thing that me and Gary talked about is like being still, being confident in what you're saying and articulating, and the level of eye contact and why, all those things played a good part in it. So I was very, very happy to see it come out the way that it did. But I gotta credit, F. Gary Gray. That's you're under his guidance. He's behind that monitor and he's breaking down every little aspect of everything that I'm doing. From how much I was opening my mouth, I remember in a scene. It was like when I would talk, there's words where you're just, it's very like you're talking and you're excited when you're talking. He was like lessen it. Like talk a little more in control. And those little things matter. You're behind the monitor and he sees what I don't. So the trust that you have in your partner is extremely important.
And I was saying that are you trying to jockey for the position of James Bond in the future?
I would say, they've already caught. No, I'm joking. I think this is I've done a good job of creating a lane that I've operated in for quite some time, right? And if you think action comedy, you think adventure, you think animation, you think family, you think rom-com. Like I've really been able to check the boxes without standing on a soapbox and saying it. So where this takes me, I don't know, but we'll see. And I think it's just fun to know that I'm having fun and progression. So if that can still happen, then I'm happy. I'm excited. If it stops and this is the stop of it, I'm happy. I got to do it. So I think if the ideas get bigger and the opportunities grow, then good. If we're talking about Lift 2 and 3, great. That's the beauty. That's exciting. So go for it.
Give us a franchise.
For it.
I thought franchise.
Have you watched the movie?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
got
saw
to
it.
see it, and I walked away thinking I could do this as a series, because now I need to know about what happened in Paris. Now I need to know how y'all got these skills. How did y'all all link up?
That's
Which
good
actually
to know.
brings
That's
me
good
to my
know.
question. I'm Poet Taylor, host of Midday Shenanigans out of Washington, D.C. Your team is all about breaking the rules and live, but for a really good cause. So if you got the call, if somebody needed you, what superpower are you really bringing to the table?
Bunch of questions.
Oh my gosh, I know. I do ask a lot of questions. No. Well, I think this also has been a departure for me as well, because this is like lighter. I've done a lot of more serious, like psychological thrillers lately. So for me, I don't know. I feel like being able to do some more action, that would be, I'd love to kind of have that as a superpower. We'll see.
What you bringing to the table?
I really like to have everything under control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just came along with that.
She excited.
No,
She
it's
just
not
got.
boring. No, but I'm talking about.
Yeah, she just turned into a villain.
No, but
that
it's
fast.
more about, having everything organized.
Yeah.
I think that could be a superpower. Right?
Delegation.
Delegation,
Yes,
right.
delegation.
I'm also a little bit bossy. So.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not a superpower. That's just
Well,
you being mean.
you need to know how to do that.
That's true.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. I'll give you
It's not
that.
easy.
We know that you guys shot the interior of the plane on a sound stage, but the
Yeah.
plane, that actual plane that was in the hangar, that was supposed to be the billionaire's plane, was that a real plane?
No,
Or that's a model?
you're looking at special effects at the
Wow.
highest level.
Wow.
You're looking at F. Gary Gray. So F. Gary Gray is heavily into aviation. Like he's about to get his pilot license. He has a simulator at home that he flies in. Like his life is dedicated to nerding out in aviation. So the details attached to the plane, the stealth plane, the idea, grounding it to where it can be as close as possible to reality. That's all F. Gary Gray. We had a green screen and a blue screen and on stage. We
It's
had
kind of tricky.
we had some tennis balls.
Oh, where everything
We
was
knew
moving.
where the plane was. It's over there. That's where it is. And don't walk past this because you're walking into the plane. Right? So, I think the stage, the way that we shot it, the stage played such a significant role because we did all the interiors before getting to the point where you're dealing with the exteriors. So your concept of what the plane was is already because of what you've done. So when you got to the exteriors of it, it was kind of easy to imagine what the world of the plane
You know, the funny thing about it is, internet gonna be like, that's Kevin Hart playing for real. Playing, right?
He gave it to him. He left it to the set.
I was on that plane.
He left it to the set. The glass.
Obviously, there was a lot of action in it. Everybody, it seemed like, was being thrown back and forth. Was there any injuries throughout for anybody on cast? Any day that left you sore?
Broken nails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes. We had this little scare with the speedboat in Venice. Google wasn't there.
I wasn't there, luckily, but I saw them afterwards, and everyone was like just pale and just
Yeah.
like looking seasick.
Almost died.
That was that was scary.
Outside of that, I think the injuries probably came from the stunt guy's hands after dealing with me. Probably a lot of injuries because I came in hard body.
There you go, Kev.
As action stars about how you show up.
On screen, you was showing up. We was in the movie like, wait, that's Kevin Hart, Kevin
It's about how
Hart.
you
Tattoos
show
and all.
up. I had to come in and I showed up differently. So they, there's a lot of injury, just a lot of physical combat. Outside of that, no, nobody got injured. I will say this though, our stunt team was unbelievable in prepping us for our fight scenes. Google did a phenomenal job and like just taking it as serious as possible. Not that you would expect anything less, but the commitment to our rehearsals. We were diligent about our little schedule
Yeah.
with the stunt
Yeah, it was a
team.
lot of choreography.
A lot of choreography. And, on the actual day, everybody showed up ready, understanding of what to do. And days that should have been hard days, tiring days, weren't bad days. And we were on cables and getting thrown all over the plane. And it's a lot. Like the cables pulling you every which way. It's hot. You're tired. You're exhausted. But the attitudes, I think, really helped put us in a position where we were able to keep the energy alive and really kind of elevate the stunt guys and stunt women as well. It was a nice synergy that we all had.
That's awesome.
I agree with you though about you because when that fight scene, that first punch, we were like, yeah. And Poet was mentioning earlier that just the power of the women in the movie
Yes.
was very
Yeah,
inspiring.
ladies are rocking.
Yeah.
I've been talking about it since last
So
night. It was. So to me, I sat back and I watched and I was like, yo, look at all these women kicking butt and taking names. And how y'all were leaders in your individual positions and how many things wouldn't have happened if you couldn't have flown, if you couldn't have guided him to being what he needed to be so you could get your job done. And I know over the past couple of years, people have been bringing women a little bit to the forefront, but I really like the diversity of the cast. And I also want to compliment how relatable everyone is. It's one thing when you watch like action movies and it seems like, oh, I can get hit, but no one can hit me and we're just perfect. Blood, broken bones, stains on shirts. Like that spoke to me.
So we sat next to each other in the screen. How is nobody bleeding? And then y'all got off the plane and y'all were bleeding.
Well, it's also like that's Gary Gray as well, like rooting it in character, you know, so that you care about each character, like the dynamics between everybody. Like everyone has their unique personalities and like completely different vibes. So like, once we actually come together.
Because you had on like a white sweater. And then you were getting thrown all over the plane, and Poland and I was like, that sweater should be dirty. Dirty. And when you punched the Interpol agent in the face, I really like that.
I love that.
And y'all took us back to and how we talk.
Yeah.
To me, that was a testament of just how dope Lift is.
Yeah.
When you were in the theater, no, you better not. Don't you touch my girl. We was in the theater like this. We was the extended members of the squad, and we were here for the fight. And I'm excited. How is it for you when you go through all that y'all have expressed, from the choreography to the fighting scenes, when y'all get to finally see not just this film, but the fruits of your labor once you get to witness it all come together? What is that experience like for you?
Well, I think it feels very different when you're shooting. And then for me, it's very satisfying to see that the results work. Because I think it's very difficult. I mean, there's a process. It's a very long process. The shooting is one thing, and then they have a lot of stuff to do afterwards.
A lot of visual effects.
So I was very surprised when I watched the movie. I was like, oh, that's you know? Because sometimes while you're doing it, it's like, is it working?
I think it's about aligning yourself with professionals as much as you possibly can, right? Like if you respect the job that everybody's coming to the table with, you'll find that everybody plays a valuable role in the outcome of the project. So in this case, it's like, you know, how do you help make everybody else's job better? How do you elevate props and support the ideas, a concept that props are bringing to the table? When you talk about the set, and you talk about the decor, you talk about the artistry that goes into that, you talk about wardrobe, you talk about special effects. Everybody's coming with the idea, concept of, if I'm allowed to do what I do at the highest level, then I know for a fact that this box is going to be checked. And I think overall, as we were shooting, as we were filming the movie, just with the producing lens on it, I'm watching all of these things click in real time. I'm watching the director be more confident because he knows that he's supported, because the people that are supposed to make his job easier are doing their job, so he's able to focus on directing. Everybody showed up and did what they were supposed to do. That way, when you get to the end result and you got to edit the movie, all the pieces are there. It's just about now how well we mash it together. But there's no fear of it not being potentially mashed together correctly. It may take you some time to do it, but I knew we had it all there. So in this case, I think we did a great job of surrounding ourselves with the highest level of professionals. You know, you're looking at a huge movie. It's a $100 movie, $100 million movie. And Netflix just doesn't do that. It's not the norm. So who they decide to do it with and for, you know, those are big decisions. So we were very lucky to be able to get the decision to be with us.
And speaking of you being a producer of the film, it's pretty amazing seeing you get to the level in your career now where you're able to produce a $100 million film like that.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
don't
speak
think
on your feelings about that?
Yeah, I try not to think about it. I don't want to fuck the money up. I just try not to act like it's that big of a deal. They tell me, and I get in the car, I'm like, woo! Oh boy, a lot of responsibility. No, we've done a great job at Heartbeat. We have great hires. We have great leaders and presidents, SVPs, VPs. Our execs, our senior teams. You know, I've surrounded the company with minds that have come from places where they've had a lot of individual success, and now collaboratively underneath the umbrella of Heartbeat, we're looking for company success. So it's only going to grow. You just got to be patient as to how much you want, how fast you want. But this movie is a very big deal for us as a company. And I'm telling you guys, and I mean it, I stand on this, without the global idea and attachment of a cast that checks the box, you do not have a good conversation. It's tough, right? If you're trying to appeal to all. On Netflix, they are all over the world. It's 250 countries, etc. How do you manage to really make everybody feel like this is a movie for them? You have to get the right cast, the right personnel. And what we were able to do from a cast perspective is insane.
It shows.
Truly insane.
I don't think anybody's going to watch this movie and not see themselves represented in some way or space. They're telling us that we have to rap. Final question. If somebody said, describe Lift to me, this movie, in 3 words, what are they?
I would say it's fun, and it's a joyful ride.
I would say, okay, that's 2 words. Adrenalinic.
Okay.
I would say fun as well. And I would say fast-paced.
Nice. The fucking shit.
Sounds like
That's it. Yeah.
I do want to say that
That's
we are
moving.
all here for the prequel, sequel. We want to know how your story, how you began, how you coming from being
Right.
officially, on the right side of
Yeah.
the law, and then now you're part of their,
Right.
their crew. How do you deal with that? We want the prequels, sequels, all of it.
I just want to know if everybody is getting artwork now that we've sat down with you.
Yeah.
That's it. Do I get my portrait?